Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. I'm Sean, streaming baseball 5 nights a week for you. We have a couple of wheel spin games. We have a couple of interesting series that are developing. The most interesting series would probably be that White Sox Royals series because the White Sox won yesterday. They're only a couple of games behind the Royals. That'll be game number 3 today. We're going to start in New York to watch the Marlins take on the Mets. Then we're going to watch the Rockies and the Pirates again. That's just a fun series, I think. And then we'll wrap it up with Rays and Mariners. I read that in kind of a weird order, but hey, it's in the description. So if you want to know what's happening, check out down there. All right, let's jump into a matchup. I think it's it's like the third game in. Doesn't really matter where it is. We're going to probably end up watching a bunch of Colorado Rockies baseball just because they're playing really interesting teams. They're playing the Philadelphia Phillies coming up. That's a good team as well. And we watched them play a couple of games against, we watched them like a triple of a series. Was it against the Pirates? Who can remember? Marlins. They played the Marlins. We watched all of that series. So we'll see. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Happy Tuesday. Appreciate you being here. As we are ready to get underway, your pitching matchup today, Jamie Garcia and Jared Weaver. Marlins are 36-30. They are on a 6-game slide. They have slid to third in the NL East. New York Mets are 31-35. They started 0-6. They've been around 500. They actually would be above 500, 31-29 since that horrendous start. Lance Nelson is the center fielder. He will lead off for the Florida Marlins, followed by first baseman Paul Konerko. Third baseman is Alex Rodriguez. Pat Burrell in left. Todd Helton at the DH spot. Chris Iannetta is behind the dish. Orlando Cabrera at shortstop. Garrett Jones in right. Danny Espinosa is the second baseman. Jamie Garcia, or maybe Jaime Garcia, I'm not 100% sure. 2-8 with a 3.76 ERA, 13 games, 38.1 innings pitched, 42-7 and 30. Love that strikeout to walk ratio. Little unfortunate that ERA is so high and that record is so bad. Lance Nelson's going to lead off for the Marlins because that is a truly, the 3.76 ERA isn't awful, but a 2-8 record. That's 10 decisions in 13 appearances. Oh boy, one pitch, one swing, and it's an out. Okay, Pence doing the Lord's work out there in right field to get to that ball in the gap. And maybe that's why he is 2-8. He's given up, it's not like a ton of hits, but if he's giving up solid contact like that, like 40 hits can be 40 doubles or 40 singles. Like you'd prefer the singles aspect of it, but there's a nice pitch inside. Florida doing what Florida does. Getting it out with the first 2 at-bats. And then just leaving poor Alex Rodriguez up there with nothing going on, even though his batting average is incredible. The lefty winds and fires upstairs for a ball. We should have known it was going to be a left-handed pitcher because Paul Konerko is normally the 2 spot, but not today. Lefty winds and fires. That pitch is low for a ball. Two and one. Right down the chute for a strike. That is swung on and missed. That's a nice pitch, nice little payoff pitch there for the strikeout. I like where that little curveball change up, where it started and where it finished, was in a competitive enough spot that it forced the swing with 2 strikes. That's good stuff. The lefty will now face Alex Rodriguez here with 2 gone in the top of the first. I feel like usually the first 2 outs are a little more disastrous. That goes just foul. 0-1. Alex Rodriguez puts a charge into that one towards center field, but center fielder makes the catch. And that'll do it for the top of the first. A 1-2-3 inning, though 2 solid pieces of contact just find the gloves of Mets defenders. It's no score. Heading to the home half. Get you introduced to that New York Mets lineup here in just a moment. Joe Mather. Center fielder. He'll be leading off for the Mets. Dustin Pedroia at second. Pablo Sandoval at third. Aubrey Huff at first. Hunter Pence in right. Lyle Overbay is the DH. Connor Jackson's out in left field. Ramon Castro behind the dish. And Ramon Santiago is the shortstop. Jared Weaver, the righty, is 10-3 with a 4.54 ERA. 13 games with 35.2 innings pitched. 39-17 and something. For some reason, 29? 23? 29? 29. 39-17, 29 hits, walks, and strikeouts. That one kind of got me. I was not anticipating it disappearing quite as quickly as it did. Joe Mather's going to get things led off here for New York. New York looks to work towards a 500 season. Florida trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. The wind and the pitch is hit past a diving third baseman, off a diving shortstop's glove, probably. He was going to have a really hard time making that play. It was pretty deep in the hole. It's a single no matter what way you slice it. If the third baseman gets to it, sure, it's an out, but nothing after that. Here's the wind and the pitch following the leadoff hit. A big swing. And that's driven foul. 0-1. That is fair inside third base. He'll hit second and make the big turn toward third. The left fielder comes up with it and safe, though a close throw. Thought he might actually get him, but the foot is inside and gets the bag before the tag is applied. Pablo Sandoval, great opportunity here for an RBI. The righty has to settle down here. Winds and fires. That's outside for a ball. Got to pick up an out. I think you could trade 2 outs for 1 run. I don't think that's the worst. Here's the wind and the pitch. They're going to send him down to second. The throw is in time. And 1 away. A little surprised they sent Pedroia. Seemed like he did not have the speed to get there. He was out by quite a large margin. That's even with the fact that his glove was on the ground and then kind of raised up and held to apply the tag. And the pitch missed the zone, so it's 2-0. There's a strike at the knees, 2-1. The 2-1 on its way, gets a strike right at the knees again. Maybe a bit of a generous call for the pitcher against Sandoval here. 1 on, 1 out. Still a bunch of different ways to get this runner in from third and take an early lead. Sandoval, well, that's not going to be the way because it's going to be just behind the third base side. Our third base bag in foul territory. And that will be out number 2. So now you're looking at a real good opportunity here for Florida to get out of this little jam. Runner on third with nobody out, and he has not had an opportunity to even try and run. That's going to get into center field. That will plate the first run, and that makes it a 1-0 lead for the Mets. Hunter Pence batting 324, 7 home runs, 19 RBI. Ready to roll here. 1 on, 2 gone. That is in for a strike at the knees. We were getting a lot of generous calls in the bottom part of the zone. Saw a couple of them to Sandoval, and now Pence gets got with that low strike. Weaver readies, winds and fires. That is going to be looped into left field, but the left fielder makes the grab. Technically, they do trade 2 outs for that 1 run, but Florida feels like maybe a missed opportunity to get out of that jam with nothing scored. 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Marlins. 9-game hitting streak for Pat Burrell. The lefty winds and fires. That's 1 pitch, 1 swing. Bobbled at first. Takes it himself, steps on the bag, and that is out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 bobble, 1 out, regardless of the funky animation. Brings up Todd Helton, 271 average. Lefty ready with winds and fires that outside for a ball. 1-0. Lefty finds the bottom of the zone. Again, staying generous at the knees. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. Good eye by Helton. He's ahead 2-1. Florida definitely needs to settle things down here a little bit. Slow these at-bats down. Helton fires that one foul. And Helton's going to get under that one. Pops it up to left field. It'll stay in play, and will make the catch right on the foul line. Chris Iannetta, 273 average. No home runs, 2 RBIs, no stolen bases. Florida getting mouthed through their lineup pretty quickly. 2 outs already here in the top of the second. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit and laced into left field. That's going to get all the way to the wall right off that orange marker. Left fielder comes up with it. Ball did get out pretty quickly. The cutoff means that it's going to be pretty easily safe. That'll bring up Orlando Cabrera. 222 average. No home runs, 7 RBI, a couple of stolen bags. Florida's going to have to work a little magic here with 2 outs. And they'll at least get to do it again as that ball is foul. 0-1. Lefty winds and fires. Ooh, I think if you're the hitter, you want that pitch back. Left it a little. He left it in what looked like, from our angle, a hittable location. Surprised that he was so passive on that pitch, but maybe just did not have it timed up. He goes back to the same pitch across the dish. It sails inside. Picks up a strike. Or a ball, excuse me. 1-2. Runner on second with 2 outs. That is rolled to the third baseman, fired strongly across the diamond, and that is out number 3. So we will head to the home half of the second. 1-0 Mets. Florida picks up their first hit of the afternoon, but can't do anything with it. Lyle Overbay, batting .250, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. That stays outside for a ball. 1-0. Here comes the righty to the plate. It is in for a strike. Righty is ready. Here's the pitch. Thought about swinging. Obviously did not. 2-1. Sorry, pardon me. I thought I had a sneeze there. Turned out it was just a yawn. There is an out for the Mets. Out number 2. Quickly 2 away, out by a step. They bring up Connor Jackson, 297 with 3 home runs. 19 RBI. That pitch looked like it sailed on him just a little bit. It stayed outside the whole way. Nice easy take for the right-handed batter. 1-1 the count. It is actually just 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. My apologies. Two and one. Three and one. That stays in for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is inside. Backs the batter off. Didn't matter even if it hit him, he was still getting first base. It's just how does he get there? Is he hit by pitch or does he draw the walk? In this case, he will draw the walk. Put a runner on for Ramon Castro, batting .274 this season. A couple of home runs. Does have 8 RBI. Here's the bottom of the second with 1 out. The pitch, wind, and fire. Outside for a ball. So really struggling to find the zone now with this second consecutive batter. It's a relatively easy walk, a 4-1 count when it was all said and done. And leads off this batter with a ball. That is hit well. That's going to be out to right field. The right fielder can't get it. It's over his head, but because he actually had a pretty good beat on it, they're going to have to hold at second and third. I don't know that it would have been a triple, but I do think that they would have scored a run. So a nice effort out there in right field. Good performance, selling that he would have the ball. Ramon Santiago, batting .250. Here's the wind and the pitch. Mets looking for a little insurance here in the bottom of the second. Just give themselves a little breathing room. That is exactly what's going to happen. They'll score one. They'll send that secondary runner around third. He'll slide in safely to home. Double play is in order after the 2 RBI double. 3-0 now. The New York Mets lead. That pitch misses low for a ball. Weaver having a hard time getting ahead of these batters. Either getting ahead or staying ahead. Maybe, I guess, in some cases, both. Actually, they directly contradict each other. Never mind. Here's the righty's wind, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Mets batters have been very patient. A good job at being patient, as he's not really been able to hit his spots consistently. The 2-0 is ready, wound and fired. In for a strike at the knees. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's in the dirt. It's actually going to get away and allow the runner to run to second freely. Will actually advance to second on a stand-up advance. Here comes the 3-1 from the righty, fouled away. The batters in this game love that 3-1 count. Three and two with 1 out. That is hit up the middle. The passed ball / wild pitch, whatever you want to score it as, is going to come back to haunt the Mets. 4-0 now, Florida. Or excuse me, I got everything backwards there. The passed ball really hurts the Marlins. Mets now leading 4-0. Probably just able to advance first to third rather than getting all the way home from second. With 1 gone, Sandoval, that's a fair ball. It's going to roll on the wall toward the corner, but not going to get there. It'll be a double. And Weaver just does not have it today. Pablo Sandoval 0 for 1. The righty is ready. In for a strike. I said it was in for a strike. It was a ball. It's 1-0. Okay. Good. Excellent. We're off to a great start here. Weaver winds and fires. That's inside for a ball. Welcome on in, everybody. We're in the bottom of the second inning here in New York. Mets and Marlins. Mets lead by 4 with two runners in scoring position. This should score the run from third. The runner will advance from second as well. Makes a nice reaching grab out there between center field. Nelson, I think, is a new name for this Marlins team. I don't know if they called him up or what, but Aubrey Huff is here to look to do a little more damage. 5-0 Mets. I think a lot of teams would have a hard time buying that they would be able to mount a 5-run comeback, but especially with how Florida has played throughout this game, I think that makes it very difficult to believe. The righty is ready. He fires. It hits a strike at the knees. Oh and 2. 2 gone. That is inside for a ball. The 1-2 is on the way. Here's the wind and the pitch stays upstairs for a ball. 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. A runner on second. And Huff will strike out. Mets have scored 5 on 7 hits. It's going to be up to Jones, Espinosa, and Nelson, a couple of invisible men for Florida if they want to keep this game alive. They're going to need a lot of work here. Garrett Jones batting .337. Florida has had some very aggressive at-bats in this game. That's a good passive take right there, even though it's a strike right at the knees. Oh and 1. Here comes the pitch from the left-hand side. That did not break over the plate the way he wanted it to. It did have a nice arc to it. Hard to argue that. It's at 54 versus 45. Oh my gosh. The numbers are battling, everybody. They're the opposites of each other. Foul up the third baseline. So the count stays at 1-2. Lefty winds. He's going to get that hit back up the middle. That's a good way for the Marlins to start picking up a base hit. Okay, pretty long throw-in animation. Thank you, MLB 11, the show. I know your commitment to excellence and complete and total realism is really coming through there. Safe. Safe at first. They're always safe at first. Always. 1 out of 2,847 friggin' whatevers. That's upstairs for a ball. Where are we? 2-1? 1-0. 1-0. I forgot. They checked over on the runner at first. For whatever reason, I was like, oh, they threw it toward the batter. I was like, no, they threw it like right in front of where he was looking. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It is foul, third base side. Lefty readies, winds, fires low again. Does that fill up the count? Does not. 3-1 is the count here. Lefty is ready. He sets fires inside for a walk. Yeesh. Yeesh. Marlins still need a lot to go right for them to try and get back into this game. Lance Nelson, as the lineup flips over, he's 0 for 1 today. The lefty misses inside for a ball. One and 0, nobody out. 2 on. Oof, puts a good swing on that one, but drives it foul. Oh, that's going to get away. Runners are going to advance to second and third. They'll throw down to third. He is safe, no problem. At least minimal problem. It is kind of wild trying to do that math, trying to do those mental gymnastics and see if you can figure out a way to get back into this game. I can't believe how tired I am. I slept way better last night than I did Sunday night into Monday night. That's foul, first base side. 4-day weekend coming up for us, which is pretty exciting. Almost lost my phone. Almost had a big old collateral spill there. As that is lifted. Left fielder's going to take a peek of it. It's going to be into foul territory. Makes the snag. Oh, they're going to send the runner home. That's a horrible idea. And he is out. A double play, including an out at home base. Home plate. I don't know why I said home base, but you get it. You're cool. You understand. And absolutely tagged him in the leg. Warped right through it. Picked up the out. Paul Konerko 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit third base side, scooped cleanly and fired over across the diamond. That will do it. Mets pick up a big win, 5-0, keeping Florida on that losing streak. And as Florida continues to lose these games, they're going to have a much more difficult time punching their ticket to the playoffs, especially because they've not only have they given up ground, lost the lead of the division, which was kind of back and forth a little bit between them and the Phillies. But Atlanta, kind of from nowhere, has shown up. Garcia is your player of the game. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 strikeout. He'll improve to 3-8, and Weaver falls to 10-4. I think if you just showed like a random person on the road, I guess they would have to know some form of sport or baseball. And you said we have a pitcher that's like 8-2 or 2-8. And you have a guy it's right there on the screen. I was closing my eyes to remember it. You have Garcia, who's 3-8. You have Weaver, who's 10-4. How do you think this is going to go? I think you would pick that Weaver would get the win, but he did not. A couple scores to catch up on. Red Sox over the Guardians. And the Cubs over the Nationals. We will slide down just a little bit to Phillies Reds. I hope that is the answer. 1 game up are the Mariners on the Athletics. What? Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Did I go to the wrong one? Hold on, are we live? Did I goof something up? Okay, we're good. Sorry. Panicked myself a little bit there because I didn't know what was happening. Phillies are 40-26. The Reds are 33-34. That I must have hit the wrong button or something on a different video. It's like it was giving me the load bars. We're good. I got to fix the thumbnail. Shin-Soo Choo, the right fielder, will lead things off for the Philadelphia Phillies, followed by Ramiro Pena. At shortstop, Justin Morneau at first, Johnny Gomes in left. You have Jorge Posada behind the dish. Andres Torres is in center. Ronnie Belliard at second. The DH is Casey Kochman. And third baseman is Brandon Inge. Come on, we got to find our second wind here. Might need to be aided by a little Baja Blast. Just a little bit. Johnny Cueto, 3-6 with a 4.19 ERA. 13 games, 38.2 innings pitched. 38-14. I missed that last number again. 36. Yeah, 38-14, 36. Not terrible at all. I think you like those numbers. Justin Verlander, by the way, heading back to the Tigers, which is kind of wild. I mean, I guess kind of fun, but kind of wild. That pitching staff seems like it could be really good. That was a very bizarre play. Really poor defense by the Cincinnati Reds. No one knew who had it. And the Phillies are on with a swinging bunt, and Shin-Soo Choo doing the trick. Nicely done by him. It's a 1-year deal for Verlander. Super Bowl 60 draws Second most viewers in U.S. history. Bunch of people saying that the game was boring. It wasn't. It was one of the greatest defensive performances you'll ever see. LeBron's ineligible for it. What? Out versus Spurs. James will miss Tuesday's matchup against San Antonio due to arthritis. 18th of the season now. 65-game NBA requirement. Seems unnecessarily self-imposed. Kind of artificial. He has to play 65 games. Like, okay. If he plays 64 games, is he really that much? Say he plays every one of the rest of the games of the season. 64 games was 65 versus 65 games. Okay. All right. 2-2 here in digital Cincinnati in our fake fantasy drafted world. Swung on and missed out number one. Guess I should have been talking about LeBron for a little bit longer, as that was when he was playing well. Or at least staying alive. Justin Morneau is batting .336. 4 home runs, 13 RBI. Getting close to the 2-week mark of baseball left here for us. Inside for a ball. As soon as the season's done, we will jump right into the playoffs. I wonder who would be considered the favorite. Pirates, maybe? Yankees in the AL? Pirates, Yankees between the two? The Yankees, because you kind of start to weed the AL teams out real quick. You only have to weed 3 of them out. I don't really believe in either AL West leader, Athletics or Mariners at the moment. And I think you would not. The Royals have been good, but they have a chance to not make it as a strike. Because the White Sox are closing in. The White Sox are closing in on a wild card spot. I don't know if you would believe in them in that situation. If they can take down the Royals in this series. I guess the Phillies would be a team that you would probably look at. They've been good all season long. We haven't watched like a ton of Braves games. The Rockies have been a little inconsistent. Yeah, I think the Yankees and Pirates for us are going to be kind of the favorites going into the postseason. 2 outs with a runner on first. Here's the wind and the pitch from Cueto. He gets the pitch in for a strike. Oh, and 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that is hit well out towards left center field. That is going to be off the wall. The defense plays it pretty nicely off the hop, but the runner from first will swing all the way around and score safe at home. It is 1-0 Philadelphia. Boy, I did not really put together how difficult this game was going to be to call because they are both wearing red hats. And if you're like me and you thought, man, this is an exciting game to have in Philadelphia, they're in Cincinnati. Does not get the call on the inside edge, 1-0. A little first inning, 2-out damage always looks good if you're a Phillies fan. Here's the righty. That is in for a strike. One and one. Pitch coming up. Here's the wind and he fires, and Posada cannot come up with any contact. It is a swing and a miss. 1-2. That's rolled foul. Third base side. Count remains the same. Cueto winds and fires. Ooh, he gets the strikeout. Call on the inside corner. I don't know about it. Philadelphia picks up a couple of hits, scores a run with 2 outs. Let's get you set with that Cincinnati Reds lineup right now. If I can read it. Grady Sizemore in center, followed by Michael Young at third, Nelson R. Cruz in right, Ty Wigington at first, Logan Morrison in left, Daniel Murphy at second, Ryan Spielbors is the DH, JP Arancibia is the catcher, Starlin Castro at the shortstop position. I'm going to introduce you to the starting pitcher for the Phillies. I will also maybe learn how to talk in sentences that have a cadence that makes sense. I'll be right back. Tommy Hansen's 7-4, a 4.66 ERA. 13 games, 38.2 innings pitched, 42, 20, and 30 hits, walks, and strikeouts. I will BRB just a second. Looks like you got the underhand toss. As I am back, ready to roll. Nelson Rad Cruz stepping up. Batting .336. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. Ow. Pitcher winds and fires at his rolled. Third baseman makes a nice stop. Fires strongly across the diamond. Nice arm strength there. Cincinnati held. Hitless. Torres, Belliard, and Kochman coming up for the Phillies here in the top of the second. They lead 1-0. Torres batting .375. Nice numbers there. Looking forward to the playoffs. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low. Ball one. Guess maybe in hindsight, maybe I could have... Actually, could we have tinkered with... I don't remember if you can tinker with the length of the playoffs in this game. I think I left it the way it was. And there's one less round because there is no wild card right into the divisional. Left fielder makes a nice reaching grab. And there is one away here for Philadelphia. Got a pretty good swing on that. Drove it to the opposite field. but could not drive it away from the defender. That Morrison out in left. Adam Morrison himself. Porn stash and all. One and oh, Cueto ready to wind and fire. Picks up a strike on the foul ball. 1-1 the count now. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low. Good eye. 2-1. Philadelphia leads 1-0 here in the top of the second. One gone. Adam Morrison. The NBA guy, apparently his teammates complained he didn't shower a lot. Oh, good. Excellent. Two-time NBA champion. How do you not? I mean, how do you not shower a lot? You're sweating. You're doing stuff. Just take a shower, man. Payoff pitch upcoming. That is hit foul. We'll do it again. Hello, walk-off. How are you today? Cueto winds and fires. Oh, he jammed him. It's a nice pitch by Cueto. It looked like it was going to be kind of riding that edge a little bit and then just kind of poked inside. Got the really bad part of the bat, skied it to the third baseman, and bing, bang, boom, out number 2. Cueto's look good so far in this one. Just gave up the... Oh, that's right. It's your Friday. Congratulations on making it through the work week. Proud of you. 0-1. They did give up the 1 run, but that was some 2-out damage. That 1 run, I believe. Couple outs here. Those days with no alarms the next morning. Yes. Yes. Unless you accidentally forget to turn your alarm off. Because you needed one for the previous week and you forgot. Like, why is my alarm going off on the Saturday of my week for 8:30 a.m.? What are we doing? Two and two in the bottom or the top of the second with 2 gone. Cueto winds and fires. That is hit right back up the middle. Umpire dances out of the way and it's into center field for a single. Today's the day that the Mariners TV signups started. Mariners.tv. Is that what I'm looking for? See where that takes me. Home of baseball, $99.99 for the season. Maybe just give me the $20 a month. Nope, we're in a bad spot now. MLB TV and Mariners TV 200. MLB TV 149 for the season. Now, if I can watch the Mariners games through the MLB app on some of the consoles I have, that'd be super helpful. My phone has the alarms on Saturday. Alarms set only for the 5 days I work. Yeah, typically for me as well, but every once in a while, Every once in a while, my mom calls me and she says, hey, we're getting up early to go to niece's thing or other niece's thing. I'm like, all right. So I'll make sure that I'm up. Usually I'm up early, but you never know sometimes. Nice snag by the third baseman and a good strong throw across the diamond to end the top half of the inning. We'll head to the home half. It's 1-0 Phillies here in Cincinnati. Russ going to the bottom of the second. Typically the glitch when it says end first is when we're going to the bottom of the second. Ty Wigginton's going to lead things off for Cincinnati. 4 home runs, 11 RBI. Ooh, pitcher shakes his head. No, thank you. Does not want that pitch. He better be correct. He was not. Pitch misses inside. Can't induce the swing. Or tempt the swing. And it's 1-0. Topps 2026 Series 1 release day tomorrow. That's pretty exciting. The ball is low. Speaking of that, let's move some money, you know what I'm saying? Oh, gotta get hyped. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Lines and fires. Shortstop has a shot at it. Comes up with a clean. Fires over to first. Nice play defensively. Nice defensive play. Are the words that I'm trying to say. I'm too excited about thinking about opening cards. Nope. No. No. No, 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 no. Okay, just... yeah, yes. Goodness gracious. Pitch misses for a ball. I assume? Yeah. Jeez. And that stays upstairs for a ball as well. 2-0. Righty's ready to deal. Here comes the pitch. It is low and outside. Ball 1. 4, 3. What? Sean. Buddy. Oh my goodness. Just go to bed. It's how you're this tired and it's only a Tuesday. You have 2 more days of work. There's a strike on the edge. 3-1. Curious to see if this Reds batter can slow things down. I think it's Morrison is the name that I kind of remember. He does not. It's right to third base. And there's a throw across the diamond in time for the out. Not a terrible pitch to swing at. I thought the swing was going to be a little bit worse. Sometimes that 3-1, because it feels so predictable that there's going to be a swing, you wonder, like, can the batter hold back if it's a bad pitch? Not a terrible location to take a hack at. Just a bit of an unlucky result. Oof, that's a pitch so bad it's good. Catcher was set up like behind the batter. Had to reach across. Gets the strike. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. Cincinnati looking to tie. Philadelphia looking to hold a 1-run lead going into the top of the third. That is hit nicely, dumped into center field. Ooh. Murphy with a nice swing there. Pitcher left it in too hittable of a location. The Reds get a little something going here with 2 gone. Ryan Spielborgs. I love the way they say his last name. There's a little sauce on it. Thought the way the crowd reacted up in the back, I thought that they were trying to steal second, which I was like, that's a bad plan. You can't take any of the momentum and just give it right back to Philly. That's going to be ground into over to second base. And just like that, the inning is over. So, well, it was fun for a second there. Shin-Soo Choo, as the lineup flips over, will lead things off. Pena and Morneau coming up behind him. Philadelphia 1, Cincinnati nothing. We're going top 3, everybody. Shin-Soo Choo, 1 for 1, has that single and a run. Here's the wind and the pitch inside for a ball. Cueto steps and fires. That is drilled. Foul ball. Cueto leaves that one well outside. Choo doesn't fall for it, and it is a 2-1 count. I couldn't remember where it was. I was looking at my screen, hoping that the YouTube feed would help me out, but it did not. Nice location there by Cueto with that high outside corner. Evens the count up at 2-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's fouled away. No, it's foul. No, it's foul. 2-2 pitch upcoming. Wind and hit to second base. He scoops it cleanly. One gone. Reds defense looking for a quiet inning here. Philadelphia looking for maybe just a little insurance. Ramiro Pena's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's Cueto's pitch, low for a ball. And that is lifted nicely, but ballpark will hold it. Didn't get enough of it. 2 away. Justin Morneau's 0 for 1. He's batting .333 this season. That is in for a strike. Oh and 1. Pitcher readies, fires. That is hit, slicing into left field. That is going to get off of the out of town scoreboard. Hit off. I don't know why it said get twice. That'll hit off the out of town scoreboard and put a runner in scoring position with 2 away. Johnny Gomes, hey, this is a good guy to have up, considering he's 1 for 1 with a double and has an RBI. Oh, we drove it into the ground to the shortstop. Oh, wow. Got real aggressive. 1 pitch, 1 swing, out number 3. You're wondering if he could do it again? The answer was no. Philadelphia, picks up their 4th hit of the game, but can't do anything with it. He was in scoring position, but just didn't have enough wiggle room to make anything happen. 2-out doubles can be tricky like that. Here's JP. Speaking of JPs, people are projecting that it's Might be J.P. Crawford's final season in Seattle. I'll miss him. It's one of the few players that we've had the whole time we've done MLB The Show. Last 5 years on the team. That's fouled away. So we'll enjoy having him on the squad while it lasts. Here comes the 0-2. It's going to be in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher. That's the time to do it. Just a ball. Looking for that swinging strike 3. But if it's going to get away from him, let it be with nobody on. Fouls that one away with 2 strikes to stay alive. Count stays 1-2. That's foul. Third base side. That's fouled away. That's a foul ball. That's a foul ball. 1-2. Righty winds and fires well outside. Nice job here by Aaron Sebia. Fouling off a bunch of 2-strike pitches. Takes ball 2. Rolls that one foul third base side. Bit of a question mark. Was that going to be strike 3? Was it going to be ball 3? Don't leave your at-bat in the umpire's hands, especially here in the bottom of the third. That's outside for ball 3. That one for sure, ball 3. Now it's 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way, and it is driven foul. Another 2-strike foul ball. Left fielder takes a look, but it's 10 rows deep, so it doesn't matter. Here comes another payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. A nice at-bat, but can't come up with a hit. Does see a lot of pitches. Hopefully that helps out Castro here. Doesn't have any home runs. Not a bad time to start putting him over the fence. This ballpark might not be the best spot for that. The wall seems pretty high across the whole outfield wall. Oh boy, 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Nice pitch, jammed him on the inside, and quickly 2 gone for the Reds here in the home half of the third. Ow, my hand. Grady Sizemore. Gets a pitch on the outside. Called strike. Oh, and 1. The throw to the pitch to the lefty. Misses inside for a ball. 1-1. And a big swing and a miss and a pitch low in the zone. Reds down to their final strike here. And gets them to go. Swung on and missed. So the Reds fall 1-0 in this one too. The Philadelphia Phillies, who are in first place of the NL East. The Reds were kind of interesting earlier in the season when there was a bit of a cluster in the National League Central, but unfortunately they have not been able to maintain that momentum. And they've kind of fallen out of it. It doesn't help that Pittsburgh has been so good lately and really opened up a gap in that division. Tommy Hansen's your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He improves to 8-4. Johnny Cueto falls to 3-7, though he only gives up the 1 run in the first inning. Offense doesn't help him, just getting 1 hit, and that is your ball game. Gomes 1 for 2 with an RBI and a double. Daniel Murphy for Cincinnati was 1 for 1, but they did nothing with it. And just like that, we are through our first couple of games here. Oh, there's my controller. Alright. View today's games. Let's catch you up on some scores. Mets 5, Marlins none. We did those first two, right? Yeah. Twins over the Orioles 7-2. The Yankees over the Angels 5-4. Athletics beat the Blue Jays 1-0. That might do it for the Blue Jays season. Yankees are all the way up at 39 wins. The Blue Jays were chasing the wild card spot. Phillies over the Reds 1-0. But the Blue Jays really needed to win this series. Or win a lot of games in that series. We are moving to the Rockies and the Pirates. Second day that we'll take a look at that game because it was fun yesterday. We have broken our walk-off streak, by the way. We had 4 of them yesterday. But nothing else. Nothing happening today. Let me flip the thumbnail. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit that like button. Free, easy way to help the channel. Thank you for hanging out on this Tuesday evening. We'll have more action for you tomorrow. I might have skipped a game on accident. I think I did. Oh, darn. What game are we on here? Rockies are 38-30. Did I take the wrong thumbnail? Rockies are 38-30. Pittsburgh Pirates 39-28. Your Colorado Rockies starting lineup looks like this. Shane Victorino. Then it's Steven Drew. Victorino in center. Steven Drew at shortstop. Torrey Hunter in right. Carlos Pena at first. Mark Reynolds at third. John Jaso at the catching position. Juan Rivera in left. Bill Hall at second. Michael Saunders is the DH. What have I done wrong here? Oh, we definitely weren't going to watch that Reds game. That's the problem. Why did I watch the Reds game? We had that... Oh, whoops. Okay, that's fine. We'll watch this. We're fine. John Lackey 7-3 with a 3.10 ERA. 13 games, 40.2 innings pitched. That one's not on me. Hold on. Cancel. John Lackey... Here's his stats. 46, 8, and 24 in the 40.2 innings pitched. Hits, walks, and strikeouts. So we watched a Reds game that we were not supposed to watch. We were supposed to jump into this game. Oh, we get a little throwback for the Pirates. All right, nice. Nice uniform choice. Why did I watch that game? Okay, so we'll do this. We'll cut that. Thankfully, nothing is goofed. That's a positive. So we'll do this game, then we'll do White Sox Royals, and then we'll get out of here. And then the Mariners will just go back into the pool. It's not like the Mariners game was particularly interesting. As long as I didn't skip the White Sox Royals game, we should be fine. There is the out. For out number 1. Let me throw... I gotta throw a couple of tags in. What did... Steven Drew takes a strike. I don't have enough room in the tags. Delete that. We're not going to have enough room for the other team. save it. Ugh, what a disaster. That's okay. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen at some point. 1-1 with 1 out. The wind and the pitch. That's right. The catching gear is a different shade and brightness in the older uniforms, and then they even have the corresponding mitts to go with it. The gloves, which makes it kind of interesting. That is fouled away. Foul ball. Foul ball. The righty winds and fires. It's rolled foul. The White Sox won yesterday's game against the Royals because I can talk about that when it's actually relevant. We saw the Pirates win in walk-off fashion over the Rockies yesterday. It's the four-seam swung very early at that 91-mile-an-hour pitch, well outside the zone. It's on the batter's box line. Torrey Hunter, 296 average, 3 home runs, 17 RBI, 4 stolen bases. The righty winds and fires. It's in for a strike, 0-1. That is rolled right back up the middle into center field, so a single puts Torrey Hunter on base. I feel like Torrey Hunter, from what we've seen, granted pretty limited sample size. We have watched quite a few Rockies games. Go back to that sequence where Hunter was up with the bases loaded and he was just putting everything into every swing he had. That one was that sequence and some of the other ones we've seen where there aren't runners on base or in scoring position is a much different Torrey Hunter. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside for a ball. One and oh. It was a 2-out single. My apologies. I had Hunter in safely at second. Second baseman doesn't even really try for the tag. He does not try for the tag. He is in safely. Catcher pats himself on the chest. Not his fault. Maybe the throw a little bit high. I think sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the base runner and say, hey, they got the better jump. Pitcher Alsco can throw over. It doesn't really matter in this game. Like in your head, you'd be like, well, the pitcher could throw over, try to catch him in a rundown, but unfortunately, we haven't really seen that in this game. So, and the runners always dive back. They're at like 99.9% success rate on diving back save. 3-1. Swung on and missed. That pitch was outside. Likely ball 4. Would have put 2 on with 2 out. Instead, it's a full count. Hunter in scoring position here in the top of the first. No score early. And gets him to go. Wow. Surprised he didn't get even a piece of that just to try and stay alive. Colorado picks up 1 hit. It was a 2-out single, and they stole a base. But Pittsburgh shuts him down. Nick Markakis out in right field. He's the left-handed hitter. Ivan Rodriguez is at first. Robinson Cano at second. Jose Bautista at third. Seth Smith, DH. Alfonso Soriano. Pardon me. Alfonso Soriano in left field. Miguel Olivo is the catcher. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick in center field, and Ryan Terriot is the shortstop. I could feel it. I could feel that in my nose. And I'm like, I would love to sneeze, please. And hey, my body cooperated, which is always nice. Here's your starting pitcher, Aaron Harang for the Rockies, 5-7. 6.82 ERA, 13 games, 33 innings, 54-15 something. They have not been holding those numbers up for very long. 54, 15, and 14. Those are numbers that are kind of disgusting, honestly. It's a high ERA. You've issued more walks than strikeouts. Yeesh. That is not what you're looking for. Let's see what he can do against a Pittsburgh lineup that we've seen be potent and not great. That's upstairs. Gets the strike call. 0-1. Man, the one time I don't check my notes, we watched the wrong game. That is bounced off the the mound, pitcher's mound, and then it's nice adjustment there by the shortstop. Able to get behind the ball, put a good throw on it. And quickly one away. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside for a ball. This is kind of low and wide. Here's the 1-0 on the way. That is, that's a generous strike. I don't think at any point that was a strike, and I think it just, as it got closer to the plate, it was more not a strike. 1-1 thanks to the generous call from the umpire. Harang readies, he fires, that is hit. Shortstop again, opportunity to make a play. So does so successfully, and that's 2 gone for the Pirates. Robinson Cano batting over 400 at 404. 5 home runs, 23 RBI. We saw one of those 5 home runs in this very stadium. Absolutely launched it over the Roberto Clemente wall. That is a pitch low. I think you want to be careful here with Cano. It's not like it gets a whole lot easier with Batista right behind him, but you're working with nobody on. See if you can maybe induce a swing and get an out, but if he swings and misses, hey, whatever. If he gets on base via a walk, might not be the worst thing in the world. 1-1 with 2 gone here. That's a great take by Cano. And no, Cano's going to just knock that into center field for a nice little 2-out single. All right. You're okay with that as a pitcher? I don't think you want to give up 2-out hits all that often, but if it's a 2-out single to Robinson Cano, a dude who could launch it into the water from home plate, I think you're all right with that. Jose Batista is up next. No way they send Cano. Excuse me. Oh God, running out of ability to talk. Oh no. The wind and the pitch. Ooh, I'm a little surprised that Batista didn't take a crack at that. That was a hanger. It is 1-1. That's inside for a ball. 2-1. Batista very patient here. No chance they send Cano on a steal attempt. That is rolled past. Ooh, the third baseman got, it looked like maybe it was his face on it. I'm sure if you look at the replay, it's probably off his glove and it looks totally fine. There's something about the real-time animation that looks super funky in this game. Because we've looked at some where it's like, oh, it hit off his face or hit funkily, and it's like, oh, it's totally fine on the replay. That is a 1-pitch, 1-swing out number 3 that you do not want to see. A couple of 2-out hits. And then a very aggressive swing ends the inning. No scores. We'll head to the top half of the second. 5, 6, 7 hitters. Reynolds, Jaso, and Rivera coming up to bat. Mark Reynolds going to lead things off for the Rockies here in the top of the second. Kind of a nice color combination, purple and yellow. That is driven foul. Sorry. Foul ball. Way early on that call. That's on me. I apologize, umpire. Ooh, thought about it. Did he go? Yes, he did. That is a terrible swing on a pitch that was way outside. Don't bring up that obnoxiousness when you see me do that later in MLB The Show. And it's fouled away.
That ball's foul.
5 weeks out for you standard edition folks. 31 days, I believe, for digital deluxe sickos like myself. Why, yes, you can have $100. Absolutely. Here comes the 1-2. There's a good take on the outside. I think that would maybe be the pitch you would think about swinging if you absolutely needed to. It's a bold take with 2 strikes. Count is 2-2. And thought about it again. No appeal that time down to first base. They already called a strike on him once for the check swing. But they say he's all right on that one. 3-2. A payoff pitch upcoming to Reynolds, the leadoff hitter. Gets him to go, and that is strike number 3. John Jaso batting .381, 1 home run, 12 RBI. That's outside for a ball in the other batter's box. 1-0. Ooh, got him to go on a pitch on the inside. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Did not look like a good swing at all. The righty is ready. Winds, fires. That is hit well out towards right field. It's going to be off the out-of-town scoreboard. The right fielder clangs into the wall. He's going for 3. And he will get it, a triple. Oh, baby, a triple. Going to put the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Went for the ball. It bounced away from him. I like the decisive base running. It is going to be triple or bust. Gives Rivera a few different ways to get him in, which is nice. Be a sac fly, or Colorado can blow it. He'll put this in the ground and there will be a collision at home plate. Nice take on that curveball that missed low. One and oh. And that will be skied to left field. Takes the running start at it. The throw is cut off. And it's a little up the line. Throws also a little high. It's a nice job by Colorado as they pump their fist. I kind of just did that without thinking. I was like, I'm going to imitate this baseball guy. I don't know what's happening there. I think I'm falling apart. That is Whew, that's a brutal animation. That's a brutal animation for the Colorado Rockies. They do pick up 1 run on the hit that they got. But for them to give that animation to the pitcher, yeesh. Alfonso Soriano is going to lead things off. He's batting .345. The left fielder. All kinds of bat wiggle. There's a player, I forget exactly who it is, but there's a player that has kind of he has a lot of animation in his current swing, and for whatever reason, it actually does throw off my timing when I'm using that pinpoint pitching. That's inside and misses for a ball. Two and 0 to Soriano. And he'll put that into left field, but actually it stayed up just a little. Already passing out. Good night. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks for stopping by. Sleep well. Miguel Olivo. That ball just stayed up a little too much in left field. Olivo takes the ball inside 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. It misses low for a ball. 2-0. Maloop and a blast for the Pirates here can swing the game back in their favor. A blast can tie it. They have on the 2-0. Look like they're setting up inside. Good take by Olivo. Even if that's a strike, it's right on that inside edge. He's not going to be, probably not going to be able to get to it. Here comes the 3-0 pitch, and that's a 4-pitch walk. There's your bloop. See what they do here with Olivo. Can they get him around the bases and tie this game up? Here's the wind and the pitch. It's, oh no. They jammed him. It's off the inside of the bat. It's just awful. Oh, that is horrendous. They work a 4-pitch walk. It's a 1-pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. They jam him so badly. Now with 2 outs, we're going to have to work something here. Do you risk putting Olivo in motion at all? I kind of doubt it. Righty to the plate, inside, almost gets the batter. Almost got that left elbow. Two and 1. The wind and the pitch is going to be hit 2. Ooh, the shortstop, he bobbles it, picks it up, fires in time for the out. It must have been just in time, or by half a step or so. Saunders, Victorino, and Drew coming up for Colorado. 1-0 game. We're going top 3. Michael Saunders, 3.45 average. 2 home runs, 11 RBI. No stolen bases. The wind and the pitch. That is... They gave him the strike there, but I thought that was maybe a little low on that outside corner. Taps the dirt. That strike call from the umpire seemed to get that swing to go for Saunders on that next pitch. Or maybe it's just because he went to that same location. That's inside. Ball one. The pitch is fouled up the third base line. A little curveball there. One and two. That is foul again, third base line. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And fouled away. Outside. We did a good job at least fouling off some of these 2-strike pitches to stay alive. Hopefully you can either work a walk or see something you can get a hold of. 2-2. That is not something he was really able to get a hold of, but the distance that ball traveled and the sound that the ball made off the bat did not equal. Just a little like clink. Shane Victorino 0 for 1, batting .381. Wind and the pitch is in for a strike. Kind of a so bad it's good pitch. Got that outside corner even though the catcher was set up inside and kind of lower. Nice adjustment to grab it. Here comes the 0-1. It's rolled. Third base picks it up. Good throw across the diamond. That is quickly out number 2 here for the Rockies in the top of the third, out by about a step. That looked like a pitch to get to, but could not time it up. It is 0-1. Okay. The catcher Olivo absolutely whiffed on that one. At least there's nobody on base to advance. That'll be past a diving first baseman into right field. 2 outs, single keeps the inning going for the Rockies. That's low and misses for a ball. Looking for a little insurance here. Wind and the pitch is swung on and missed by Torrey Hunter. And that's going to be rolled shortstop. Comes up with it in time to first for out number 3. So the Pirates, one last chance for them. Markakis, Rodriguez, and Cano. The lineup flips over. Bloop and Blast can send these Pittsburgh fans home happy with a second consecutive walk-off win in this series. I guess it doesn't have to be a Bloop and a Blast. Markakis is batting .299. Hit here should put him at 300. 300 average. That's a nice pitch to get that inside edge. 0-1. Righty winds and fires. That one stays up high, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Stayed up just a little bit. Had just enough ride through the zone to get under or get over the bat of the Pirates batter. He was looking for that to drop just a little bit more. Third straight pitch, he goes up and kind of out of the zone. Second consecutive swing. Couple of... That would at least fouled off with a 2-strike count. And he hits it solidly up the middle. Right past the pitcher. And I mean, that's kind of why that animation that... animation that we saw earlier after the Rockies had scored a run was so brutal, because that one went right back up the middle. The pitcher just stood there like nothing was going on and didn't react, whereas the other pitcher was able to go, oh, I can get this. Maybe a fielding rating for the pitcher is kind of the difference there. Ooh, got the bloop, looking for the blast, but this one's driven into foul territory. Second baseman comes over, makes a nice play. It's Robinson Cano's turn. 1-for-1 with a single. Here comes the right-hander's pitch to Cano. He'll take a ball a little low. Probably more outside, I guess, would guess is the reason it was a ball. Makes it 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. That was not a strike, but that's kind of the pitch that we see get strike calls more frequently than others that are just very wrong. 1-1. Cano. Ooh, it's going to be off the first baseman. Cano's going to have an opportunity to get to first. He will be safe. 2 on, 1 out. Winning run on first for Jose Bautista, who's 1-for-1 with a single. Low for a ball. That's, oh man, another one of those bad strike calls. It goes against Bautista. 1-1 the count now. Tying run in scoring position. Rockies pitcher likely looking for a ground ball. That's not going to be it. How aggressive are they? They are not aggressive. They respect the right fielder's arm, and they will load the bases. Winning run on second. Seth Smith 0-for-1, but he does have a nice average at .375. Here's the wind and the pitch low. For a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's in for a strike. Got that outside edge. That is kind of a similar location. Right on that outside edge, gets a strike. 1-2. It is 1-2. 1 out. Now Colorado's defense. Ooh, they're going to give it up. That's going to be a walk-off win for the Pirates. There's one. The second run comes in, and that is game. 2-1 Pirates. I was going to say the Rockies could actually come home to prevent the run. It's a force out, so you don't have to rely on the catcher holding on to the ball. Rang pitched well, but not well enough, and the Rockies couldn't get anything else going offensively. They just get the 1 run. John Lackey is your winning pitcher and your player of the game. 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts on the day. He improves to 8-3. Harang falls to 5-8. No home runs in the game. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, for the second consecutive day, walk off the Colorado Rockies. We will probably watch game number 3 of this series because it has been pretty fun. We'll check that out tomorrow. We will head to our 4th and final game, which was supposed to be our 3rd game, which means the intro I talked about was even more confusing than it should have been. It is the Royals and the White Sox. If we want to take a quick look around the league, we can go to the standings here in the AL Central. White Sox are 3.5 back of the Royals. More importantly, the White Sox are a game back of the Athletics, so a win here would put them a half game back. They have that one extra loss. They are a half game ahead of the Guardians and a couple of games ahead of the Blue Jays. It's been interesting. The White Sox kind of out of nowhere all of a sudden have an opportunity, and it might be... It's just a 3-game set, so the best the White Sox can do is 37-32, which would be 38-30. And then who else does? Well, I guess who else does Chicago play? Boston. Teams that they already have a better record than. Who they get? LA, Boston. I feel like I looked at that recently. All right, let's go back to the schedule. We were already on the schedule. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I did not mean to watch that Phillies game. Whoopsie daisy. But thankfully, hey, we made the mistake, but thankfully it didn't cost us anything. Here's a look at your AL and NL wild card standings, aka just the wild card standings. National League is starting to get a little more separated. The American League is where it's interesting. 3 teams you can see there within a game and a half. That athletic spot very easily could be the Mariners. But we'll see what happens as we wind down the rest of the season. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Like, subscribe. So we need this one now. As the White Sox are 35-32, the Royals are 38-28. So big game for the White Sox. I mean, the Royals can do a good job, can do enough just by winning and trying to keep the White Sox at bay. The White Sox will need some help in front of them, but Cleveland hasn't been playing well, particularly well, and I don't know that I believe in either the Mariners or the Athletics down the stretch. Let's talk about your Chicago White Sox starting lineup. B.J. Upton, the center fielder, will lead things off, followed by Maglio Ordonez in right field. Albert Pujols in first. Manny Ramirez in left field. He was a trade from the St. Louis Cardinals over to the White Sox. Ryan Braun's the DH, or Ryan Rayburn, excuse me, is the DH. Scott Rowland at third. Yorvit Torrealba is the catcher. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez at second, and Jed Lowry is the shortstop. It's that already lineup as we talk about Luke Hovicher. 7-5, a 4.93 ERA, 13 games, 38.1 innings pitched, 44, 13, 16? I don't believe in any of those numbers. 26, darn. The first 2 were good, though. 44, 13, and 26. Hits, walks, and strikeouts. B.J. Upton. Lost a little bit of the flow with those stats there. He'll lead things off for Chicago. Chicago was able to win this game yesterday. When they won game 1, 4-0. And that was when I kind of went, oh, I guess we should have been paying a little more attention to... Well, actually, I saw the records for the teams and I went, oh. And then I looked yesterday and Chicago won. I think Kansas City will be in an okay spot if they can just split these last 2 games. Chicago could win the series and the Royals would still be fine. One and one. We're underway here in game 4 of 4. We'll be back tomorrow. More action. 4 more games for you. Wind and the pitch is hit out. Foul. Next Friday, the 20th of February, we'll be doing a little Wind and the pitch. We'll do a little Mariners spring training special. We will, I'll get as up-to-date a roster as I can find for MLB The Show 25. We'll play the Padres. Play the Padres. There's the hit right back to the pitcher. Over to first for the out. One gone. We'll play the Padres, and then we'll do a little watch along. It might be available free on Mariners.tv. Hopefully. That'd be good for me, but obviously I won't be broadcasting the game, but we'll play a game. We'll see how we're feeling with the lineup, and I've been enjoying doing that at the start of spring training. And then I'm guessing then the first game that we play in MLB The Show 26 will probably be Mariners taking on the Dodgers. We'll be having a bunch of fun that day. That'll be March 13th here on youtube.com/Shawnosaurus Rex. That is in for a strike. Yeah, and now back to the program. One and one. Wind and the pitch is outside for a ball. 2-1 now. The righty is ready. Fires inside for a ball. Batters love swinging on a 3-1 pitch. What do they do here? That's what they do. Swing. Ordonez drills that one. Foul. And it's a full count. Payoff pitch coming. Righty is ready. Winds, fires, and that. You know what? It's a little more on the edge than you might anticipate. But it is 3-2. And Ordonez is going to drive this out toward left center, and the center fielder makes the play in the gap. Pujols, 9 home runs this season. 21 runs batted in. He is batting third. I wonder how much that trade really did impact the Chicago White Sox. Because I kind of forgot about it, and then as the game was loading, I was like, oh, that's right. They get Pujols to swing under that, pop it sky high to left. The catch is made, and that will retire the side. Top of the first is over. Nothing doing for the White Sox. Let's see what the Royals can do, a team that sometimes I regret putting in these videos. Austin Jackson, the center fielder, will lead things off, followed by Reed Johnson, the DH. Mark Teixeira at first, Jeff Frazier in right, Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop. Josh Willikam's in left, Brian McCann is behind the dish, Neil Walker, the second baseman, and Placido Polanco is your third baseman. Francisco Liriano is 7-6 with a 3.62 ERA. 13 games, 37.1 innings pitched, 40, 13, and 32 hits, walks, and strikeouts. And like that, we're back, baby. We are so back at being able to read stats as quickly as possible. And just like that, the Seahawks offensive coordinator is the head coach of the Raiders. Here is the wind and the pitch. It is outside. One and 0 to the leadoff hitter for the Royals. Lefty gets a strike right on that inside edge. And that is in for a strike. Checking the Walla Walla Sweet Onions schedule. As a strike is called on the outside for strike 3, and that is out number 1. Do want to try to go to more baseball games this year. Off the top of my head, should be able to try to get to an Everett game. I'd like to try and swing it for a Mariners. Spokane, that's an easy 3. There's the Tri-City Dust Devils. That could be 4. There's the Walla Walla Sweet Onions. 5. Oh, and 1. Lefty winds and fires. That is lifted into foul territory, first base side. He's going to take a peek, but run out of room. That's high off the wall and hits the weather tarp. That'll be 0 and 2. That misses, kind of, question mark? I don't know. Maybe it's just because the stuff's been called kind of funkily throughout the game. That's where it kind of goes like, what? Oh, jeez, okay. He can't be upset about that. He should be mad at himself, sure, but like, oh my goodness. We don't have a great look at the plate there. It's maybe a little more inside than I thought, but I still think it hit the plate. Mark Teixeira, 3.45 average, 16 RBI with 6 home runs. Mark Teixeira stepping up. And that is driven up the middle. A base hit with 2 outs. Puts a runner on first for Kansas City. And one of the rarer late season divisional matchups that we have here. There just isn't a whole lot. Like, once we got through, I don't know, that first week of May, it felt like the divisional stuff really dried up. It's like, ah, crap. We need a game with a customizable schedule. That is, diving. Shortstop makes the play. Over to first in time for out number 3. That will retire the side. Kansas City picks up a 2-out hit. Ramirez, Rayburn, and Rowland coming up for the White Sox in the top half of the second. That is in for a strike. It's past the catcher. And Ramirez will look at another one. 1-1 the count. That is low and away. Ball 2. Two and 1. As the righty winds and fires, that is into center field. There's a hit for the White Sox. Their first of the game puts a runner on with nobody out. Ryan Rayburn's batting .353 with a couple of home runs. Maybe a good guy to try and get something going here for this Chicago team. Looking to chase down Kansas City in the American League Central, looking to chase down a wild card spot late in the season. Might see more White Sox baseball as we head down the stretch, just based on the fact that they are chasing a playoff spot. We also have 4 games a day, so it's, not the most absurd thing to say, considering we have, 20-something days left Even if we had flat 20 days, we'd still have 80 games because we do 4 games a day, so. Oof, that's upstairs. Might be looking at a lot of White Sox and Rockies baseball here on the channel, which is kind of wild considering the fact that the Rockies and the White Sox over the last couple of years have had 2 of the worst seasons we've ever seen. That is a strike. We got 2-2 the count now. Using the YouTube stream delay to my advantage as a little cheat sheet. Runner on first. And, ooh, third baseman can't come up with it. They are going to hold at second. I think that's a smart play. Put that runner in scoring position. Don't be too aggressive. Ramirez isn't, and this is not meant to sound rude, he is not going to have the speed to get around and hustle his way to third. Scott rolling. Now with a runner in scoring position, 349 average. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is outside for a ball, 1-0. And another nice take outside for a ball. Two on, nobody out. Pitcher winds and fires. That's the strike that they give him? No way. Yeesh. He hasn't really earned that call, but all right. 2-1. They put both runners in motion. We're looking for a hit and run there. He drives it foul. Makes it 2-2. That's inside for a ball. Would have been absolutely absurd. Abysmal call if that would have been strike 3. That actually likely should have been ball 4. Doesn't matter now. It's a payoff pitch because it's a 3-2 count. That is in to left field. The left fielder can't get it. I thought that looked a little funky. Are they going to send Ramirez? No, it's a disaster on the base paths. Oh, because of the angle, he looked like he was going to get a hold of it, but something just kind of gut was like, I don't think he's going to get that. They've been kind of more commonly missing those plays out in the field. Wild. So it's bases loaded. Nobody's out. Pitch misses for a ball. Couple things. One, why are you swinging at that? And two, no appeal? That is the pitch that looks, the swing that looks the weirdest. So what we were talking about in the previous game, the Rockies and the Pirates, the defense here can go home. It's just a force out. So you don't have to sit there and put your catcher in harm's way. 2-1. Bases loaded, nobody out. That is outside for a ball. He's taken all 3 of those pitches that he's seen in that spot. He keeps trying to go and get him to swing on that outside pitch, but nothing doing. 3-1. Oh, I thought we were breaking out the rye bread and mustard. Instead, it is a foul ball. 3-2. He'll drive that, into the gap. It's going to leak into right field. Everybody advances 90 feet, and the White Sox pick up the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Chicago. Sliced it right toward the second baseman. I was curious to see what they were going to try and do, but ends up being everybody safe. The bobble, they're like the deflection definitely saved a run. Right. I mean, how good are those takes for the previous batter? Because that, I guess that was more in, so I can kind of understand it. But some bold takes, especially because he had a couple. He did actually have a couple of strikes. It's just you get the one strike call on the outside, then you see the aggression here. And that pitch comes in low, swung on, missed. And just like that, it's 0-2. I was going to say one good pitch. Kansas City might want to let that go. He made the catch through the wall. The runner is going to score from third and advance from second. Oh, good. We're going to get a replay of his arm disappearing through the wall. The glitch benefits the White Sox more than it benefits the Royals. And it's 2-0. Second time we've seen that. Both of the plays have involved teams from Chicago. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside for a ball. So I mark that as a note. That's inside for a strike. That was a strike out by the mask. Worst out of the year. Maybe that's what it was. It's July 19th to... I was thinking it'd be fun to do like a flashback to Cubs out if... Of course I had to make all this crap, so that's fun. Hopefully... Well, I think what ends up getting tricky about this is I don't always have the footage on hand. Because I just stream it. Everything else I locally record. So I have to wait for this to process before I can download it, and then it only downloads in 720p, so hopefully more shorts would be coming if I could stream and record at the same time. So we'll be looking for a new PC here soon. Hopefully we can bump up the fidelity and all that stuff as well. I mean, granted, we're looking at a PlayStation 2 game. I don't think it's going to look that much better, but still. Especially for the new season and for March Mascot Madness, it would be good to have like a little bit of an upgrade where it maybe looks a touch nicer. And especially for March Mascot Madness, because I like having all that footage locally. And the shorts and stuff have been doing pretty well. Alright, where are we here in this game? It is the Royals and the White Sox. That is foul at the third base line. So I took a little note there on one of the more bizarre outs. Hopefully I have that one from the Cubs game, but I don't remember exactly when it is. But I do remember that it is the Cubs. The problem is you just have to lift it off his feet to get that one. Chicago scores 2, one of them kind of in a funky way. Speaking of Chicago, Ramirez, Willingham, and McCann, coming up. Ramirez is a White Sox. 2-0 Chicago. Shortstop Alexei Ramirez leading off. Probably very nice of the game to just kind of go like, you know what, that third baseman, you're going to make a nice catch. We're just going to call it there. 2-0. The lefty winds and fires. A strike at the knees. Not a great start for the Royals here in the home half of the second. Like that second run for Chicago is going to come in handy. We saw it be the difference in the game for the Rockies. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates still would have won, but you got to give yourself that opportunity. Of course, you don't know that you need that opportunity, so it gets kind of like, gets a little weird. Here's the lefty to the plate. Did he go? Yes, he did. That is strike three, and that is an out. I don't think he went. That's not exactly a helpful angle. Josh Willingham batting .357. 5 home runs, 19 RBI. The lefty winds and fires, and that is foul at the first baseline. That is outside for a ball. One and one. Outside for a ball. Two and one. One gone here in the bottom of the second. And that's outside. Three and one. Shakes his head. He doesn't like it. The wind and the pitch. Low for a ball. Okay, puts the Royals batter on. I mean, the pitch was obviously very low. Ooh, he's going to the second baseman, to second for one, back to first for two. A double play. That takes care of the bottom of the second. Ordonez, Pujols, and Ramirez coming up. The White Sox lead this one 2-0, heading to the top of the third. Maglio, Ordonez. Ordonez, one pitch, one swing, and one out. Apparently they have dinner reservations somewhere in Kansas City. We got to get some of that barbecue. We got to go. Albert Pujols is 0 for 1, batting .283 on the season, 9 home runs, 21 RBIs. See what he can do here. I guess the question is going to be is Chicago able to pick up any extra runs? Ooh, that was maybe a pitch Pujols would want back. Maybe it's a touch more inside than we realized, but kind of a funky little get-me-over curveball. Pujols swings at that, fouls it away. It's 0-2. The righty fires the 0-2, and it's going to be hit to the shortstop. Fields it on a hop and throws to first in time for the out. 2 away pretty quickly here for the White Sox, leading 2-0. Manny Ramirez steps up to the plate. One for one with a single and a run. Ramirez pulls that foul. Be 0-1 now. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is inside for a ball. 1-1 to Ramirez with 2 gone here in the top half of the third. Doesn't really look like the White Sox will be adding any insurance, but you never know. Ramirez could put one in the seats. Not on that pitch. It's just way outside. Way low, way outside. Here comes the 2-1. It is skied out towards right field, kind of right center. Center fielder with plenty of time. Too much air under that one, and that will be out number 3. Walker, Polanco, and Jackson. The 8-9-1 hitters coming up for Kansas City. Last chance in the home half of the third. Neil Walker batting .325. 1 home run, 11 RBI. So the lefty is ready. He winds, fires, and throws it low for a ball.
Come on, get something started.
1-0. Like to see the lefty be a little bit more aggressive here. There we go. That's better. One and one. That is hit. Second baseman. Oh, fields it on a... No, does not field it cleanly. Still able to get to the... Still able to get it to first for the out in time, but boy, oh boy. You can't be giving these... Can't be giving the Royals extra opportunities. You are chasing this team down in the American League Central. You gotta get the outs. And this game likes to punish you when you cannot figure that out. It would be another very fraudulent, potentially fraudulent win for Kansas City, who has the most fraudulent win we've seen all season. It was the Royals and the Twins, an 8-inning monstrosity that Kansas City shouldn't have even been in if not for the ball going through the wrist of a Minnesota Twins defender. Kind of like what we saw where the arm went through the wall for the catch. But just like they went up for the grab and the ball came in and just went like through the wrist. It was awful. And then it led to an 8-inning game, which was even worse. High fly out to center, makes the grab and 2 away. Chicago 1 out away from pulling all that much closer to a wild card spot, to the AL Central leading Kansas City Royals. It's up to Austin Jackson for the Royals to get things going here. I am 100% positive that I have just jinxed myself. Now, even if Jackson's able to get a good hit, if he puts one in the seats, it's only 1 run. Instead, he'll just put that into left field. Okay, so it'll be down into the corner, roll around a little bit. He is going to stop at second. Oh, cool. Interesting camera angle. Weird how we can see the shadow, but all right. Reed Johnson 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So Reed Johnson looking to keep this game going. He will flare that up the first base line. 0-1. Lefty's got to find something. Here's the wind and the pitch, way low. Very easy take. Lefty sets for the 1-1 pitch. Here's the wind, and he'll fire. Left fielder under this one, and that will be out number 3. So the Chicago White Sox pick up a win, secure a series victory, inch a little closer to a wild card spot, inch a little closer to the Royals, who are in first place in the AL Central. We will take a look at the series finale tomorrow, and hopefully I won't watch the wrong game accidentally. 2-0 your final here from Kansas City. We have kind of a quicker video for you tonight. All the games relatively short. All of them, they average it out to 35 minutes-ish. That's actually over guesstimating. They're probably like 32-30 or something like that. Francisco Liriano is your player of the game. 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts on the day. He improves to 8-6. Luke Hovicher falls to 7-6. We are done with our coverage and content today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're done nice and early too, which is good. Because I was on time and then somehow late. Wild. We will catch you up on a couple of scores here before we bop on out. Sim to day 2, the Mariners pick up a 6-0 victory. Secure at least a series tie with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. That was the last game that we watched. Rangers over the Tigers, 3-2. Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks 1-0. So the Diamondbacks just stuck at that 37 wins. They have had 2 opportunities now where the team in front of them, the Colorado Rockies, has lost a game on a walk-off hit. And both times the Diamondbacks have fallen 1-0 to the Cardinals. Astros over the Dodgers 3-0. Brewers beat the Padres 3-2. The Giants beat the Braves 3-2. And the Mariners shut out the Rays 6-0. So there are your scores. Let's head to Save Slot 8, get this all saved, and that'll wrap us up for today. Thank you again so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like more, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. I appreciate you hanging out. We got a taste test tomorrow. I'll be back at 6 p.m. Pacific time on the channel for 4 more games of action. We'll probably take a look at 2 of the series that we watched today. The Rockies and Pirates. That one's been fun. And we'll take a look at that White Sox Royals series and see if the White Sox can get even closer to the Royals in the AL Central standings. Thanks everybody for watching. The save is complete. That completes the stream. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.